Alright, in the last video we did our pot hanger and I wasn't quite pleased with the way it was going down in, and I realized I said something backwards. So we're going to create multiple hooks to hang off of the stick, and we're going to have one that the pot hangs off of basically. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut the end of this off. That's where my pot hangs. I'm just going to go over here. You're not going to see it in the frame, but I'm just going to cut the end of it off. Just like that. So I have that one there. I just want to shorten this up a bit basically. And then my hangers are going to go down through here. So I'm just going to do maybe two or three more of those real quick. Just try to get it where you can see it at least. Alright. So I'm going to put one here. I gotta get resituated here as per usual, right? I'm going to put one right here. That, and then I'm going to put one right here. Then I'm going to go down a hair. This. And like, let's see where I'm at here. Like that. Quite get that other X the way I wanted it, so we're going to redo that one a little bit. Yeah. Rolled on me. Alright, now I'll carve those out. So I'm going to have my hooks facing down to hang off that stick. I like to do, if I'm doing multiple things like that, multiple processes like that, I like to just start each one and then from there, you know, do the finishing work on them like I'm doing right now. So cut each of your X's. I wasn't so concerned if they were lined up completely down the stick, as long as they're shaped the same, because it's a round pot that I'm hanging. You know, it's like, it doesn't really matter. But it also gets into how pretty do you want it to be, right? So if you want to spend more time on it. And this is a, I mean, quite honestly, this is a sacrificial piece of wood. At some point, they rot or, you know, get worn by the fire over time. You'll likely be doing this again at some point. Now I'm just gonna create that clearance for my hanging stick, my angled stick, and then I'm going to get up under there and curve that little curve up under there like I did before. Then we have that. And do one more. I'm going to carve that one a bit deeper. Do that one. I kind of want a tight angle on these because I want a narrow point on there. There we go. And just watch you don't go past your stop cut. That's what it's there for, to stop you. But you know, if you didn't get it deep enough or whatever, it may not serve its purpose. Don't be afraid to do some plunge cuts or even drive it in deeper again if you need to. And for all you kids out there who aren't used to doing this kind of stuff, make sure that you strop your knife when you're done. Hone that edge and strop it a bit. We went over that in another video about creating your field strop and sharpener system. If I remember, I'll put it in the info cards at the top right of this video when I upload it. I actually want to get that point up just a hair further there, straighten it out a bit. This is what I was talking about before. When you're doing these tasks, sometimes you're going to want to fine tune. And I was just uploading the other video and I realized that I had said this backwards the way that I wanted to do it, because I wasn't planning on finishing it right then. And my mind being the way that it is, I had to come back out because it would have drove me nuts leaving it unfinished. Alright, so I got these little hooks going up and down the stick. They're not perfectly in line with each other, but that's okay. Let me get my knife put away here. I'll straighten you up. We'll go over and take a look at what we're doing here. Make sure you can see what I'm doing and keep you out of the sun. There we go. So, these 3 notches that I just created here are the ones that hang up here, right? And I hang my pot on there. Okay, now I'm in my fire pit right now, but if I reach over, I'm cooking, I can simply just reach right over and raise this and lower this, all right? Just like that. And that, I might keep that there, say like a pot of coffee. I don't want it boiling or anything, but I still want it to stay warm, so I'll keep it over top of my fire just to keep it warm. Then when I'm cooking something, I'll lower that down as far as I want to. Like I said, I typically have these Fires Kiss My Pot. I don't really have them embedded down in there, but this stick here I might use for something like a bigger pot. But if I'm going to use a small bush pot like this, I might create a longer stick for that so I can go even further down in to my fire pit, because I'm pretty high above it right now. But you can see the weight of the pot holds it in place. So you don't have to worry about filling it too full with water. That's why I like using these hardwoods. They don't flex or anything. And they're going to stay right where I put them. So with that, I wouldn't have been able to handle, if you want to look closer there, there you go, it just balances itself on there. I'll look closer by the pot where it's hanging. There you go. So it creates a nice balance. Let's get a little closer there. The background's blurring or sharpening up. Yeah, so real simple. The next one we do, we're going to do some different cooking implements to go on the sides of our fire pit. So we're using the back side of our fire pit. We're using the front side with the grill and coal bed area. We can use our tripod over top of it. We can even make a taller one if we wanted to. But I'm going to be smoking meats over here with this tripod. I'm going to be creating a rack on there for that. And then we're going to use both sides of our fire pit to create cooking implements on. So we're using the whole area. We're not just using part of it. We didn't create this big log wall for nothing. We're going to make sure that we use everything that we possibly can and get the total functionality of this thing the way we want to. All right. So in the next video, I'll work on one of the other cooking implements that we're going to create. And then in the last video, we're going to create another one before we start our woodcraft part of things, where we're going to create our workbenches and our tools. All right. So far you've only really needed to create your pilot stick. You need a shovel or something to dig with. Even your pilot stick you can dig with. A saw, right? Whether it be a folding saw or buck saw. I use a buck saw for the bigger stuff. Some kind of heavy hammer, whether you make a maul in the woods, which we're going to be making in a future video, or you use a heavy sledge like I did. That was a 4-pound sledge. We used cordage. We used our fixed blade knives. We've gone pretty far through this whole thing. We even used our multi-tool when we lashed the tripod. We used our Leatherman on that. So notice that there's nothing that I carry that was not going to be used. It's going to be used all the time, and it's very simple tools that you can find almost anywhere. So this shouldn't be a project that's out of reach for anybody, really. Now, getting down to the where you're going to get your supplies from, if you don't have a place to do this out in the woods, or you want to do it in your backyard, like I said, call your local tree cutting service and ask them if you can pick up a couple short logs, and they'd be more than happy to give them to you, I'm sure. But that's it for today, folks. I'll see you next time.